Welcome back to the C Morning Show, everyone, and it is time for our morning discussion. Before that, though, I'd like to ask my colleague Jasmine about what she thinks about the influence that Southeast Asian countries have for each other, especially when it comes to the music industry. Jasmine, what do you think?
I mean, I have witnessed it firsthand with a lot of my Malaysian friends that most of the time when we play guitar and we're chilling outside, they're singing Indonesian songs.
Right.
And it was a bit of a shocker in the beginning because I didn't expect them to know like these household names that we know. But you know, it's really nice to share that sort of common language.
Yeah, I think it's
songs.
Since you mentioned Malaysia, I think there's no. I mean, you have so many countries in Southeast Asia, but I think there's no two that go hand in hand better than Malaysia and Indonesia. There's just so many things that are shared across all cultures. I think I had a discussion recently with Kugiran Masdo. They're a group that is. When they came here, they have their own style and distinct personality and music as well. But they told me that their biggest influence, one of the biggest bands that they're fan of is Changchut, that is from Indonesia. And they knew all of the lyrics, all of the songs.
Better than us?
Better than me, yeah, definitely. So again, it goes to show that there really is this huge connection, especially when it comes to Indonesia and Malaysia.
Of course. And speaking of that as well, our guest today is the Malaysian content creator Shah Zakaria, who will share his opinion on Indonesian pop culture through the eyes of a Malaysian. So thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for having me again.
Well.
Yes.
Welcome back.
So
thank you.
We were conversing a little bit earlier about our commonalities in music. So I want to know, do you feel the same way when you see an intersection in pop culture between Indonesia and Malaysia?
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
So, okay, I'm not a music expert.
Yeah.
But I'm just sharing as a listener and ordinary citizen.
For sure. I mean, there's also other things that overlap these gaps, right?
Yes, of course. So, I think pop culture really plays a significant role in bridging like the cultural awareness between Malaysia and Indonesia. So that, because sometimes there are some Indonesian first learn about the Malaysia's existence through the TV shows, dramas, music, and films. Same goes with the Malaysian familiar with Indonesia through the pop culture first. So I think that's why pop culture, through pop culture we learn the differences between Malaysia and Indonesia.
Right.
Yeah.
I think for years and years ago, before the era of social media was such a main media platform, it would be sports and music, right? That would be connecting the two countries. But I believe now with social media, you hear, like I see a lot of these little reels in regards of the comparison of the words, languages, and things of that sort as well. So obviously, we mentioned that Malaysia and Indonesia share a lot of common ground in both language and culture. In what ways do you think music shares this similar heritage? For one, like for example, I can use a great example. If a Malaysian listens to an Indonesian song or vice versa, we would at least understand a lot of the lyrics.
Yes.
Correct?
Yes. So I think the shared culture is obviously the language.
Yeah.
The linguistic similarities in the lyrics. So it's easy
In
for
Melayu.
us. Yeah, it's easy for us to understand, untuk menghayati, to feel the narrative and the storyline of the song.
Correct.
Yeah.
Because the language used in the lyrics, for us, standard Malay, and for you guys is formal Indonesian.
Yes, I've heard that too.
So while colloquial speech, slang, bahasa pasar, bahasa gaul may have like distinct differences, but if we pay close attention to the formal language, sangat sama.
A lot more similarities.
Sangat sama.
Yeah, and what about genres? Because in Indonesia, I would say like slow jams, ballads,
Very dramatic.
rock. That would be the big. Is there? Do you see similarities in genres that are popular there as well?
Similarities, but also there are some differences. Malaysia are more to upbeat songs.
Okay.
And more to traditional song, hip hop and rap.
Yes.
While Indonesian more to galau.
Yes. We like to be in that mood.
That explains pretty much most of our moods here.
Very much.
I love that, but I want to focus on something more serious when it comes to diplomacy.
Yeah.
You know, as you said earlier, there's a lot of cultural overlaps that we have. How do you think it has helped with our cultural strength, with the strength of our culture in terms of diplomatic relations between Malaysia and Indonesia for now, and then as well as what your expectations will be in the future?
I think it really helps when the cross-border collaborations happen between artists from both countries. So like Siti Nurhaliza collaborated with Chris Dayanti.
Yes.
Who else? Judika, Siti Nurhaliza, Hafiz and Rosa. Helusaini and Chakrakan. And I think the most recent one is Aina Abdul and Fabio Asher. So they are the one who play the major role in fostering cultural appreciation and also strengthening the ties between Malaysia and Indonesia.
Yeah, having both artists create something beautiful together.
Yeah.
And I think when it comes to music, it's the one thing that people don't have to argue about.
Yeah.
It's like, for one thing, it's like sometimes when it comes to food, it's like, oh, it originated here first, no, it originated here first. When it comes to music,
Just enjoy it.
There's none of that.
Yes,
Absolutely.
yes, true.
Wow, you mentioned Siti Nurhaliza, and there's artists like Sheila Majid, who's huge here. They're often having concerts here. Why do you think certain artists resonate so well in Indonesia? Is it because of their singing style? Is it because of, you know, them being kind of prominent women artists? Yeah.
I think the main reason probably because of their talent, because of their exceptional talent that made them truly deserving reaching a wider audience. Because as we know, Indonesian market is really big.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so we see Indonesia as the Hollywood of the Nusantara. Because
Oh,
the
wow.
population is big.
Right.
The market is big. So in order for you to penetrate the Indonesian market, you have to be very talented.
Yeah.
Because there are some Indonesians that are very talented, like couldn't be an artist because of the competition is very tight.
That's true.
So yeah, because of the talent lah. There are some factors that contributing to that. Maybe because of their musical style, like Siti Nurhaliza traditional Malay and Sheila Majid jazz infused Malay pop that have broad appeal. But I think
Can't forget Yuna as well.
yeah, Yuna.
But it's not just that. I mean, I don't know if you remember, but Too Fat. I mean, you mentioned hip hop is big in Malaysia. They were big here in Indonesia, and we do have a hip hop scene, but it's so much more underground.
Yeah.
And when Too Fat would come here, and then, you know, obviously the lyrics, we understood all the lyrics as well. They blew up over here and brought that kind of like more commercial hip hop sound as well. I mean, Joe Flizzo still comes here a lot as well. He's part of one half of Too Fat. So again, it's not just the genre, but like you said, it's talent as well that allows them to be appreciated by the fans here and a much larger fan base as
And
well.
also to give inspiration for also Indonesian artists to try something new, right? Because you said they were bringing something here and then we're sharing something there.
That's
now,
right.
speaking of us sharing something there, you know, like Dewa 19 or Dewa 19, Chris Dayanti, as you mentioned, Raisa Rosa are also very popular names in the Malaysian household. So why do you think they connected with you guys?
I think because Malaysian also actually like galau music.
But they just don't want to accept it.
Secretly.
So most of Indonesian songs are well known because of their emotional depth and relatable lyrics. So sangat relate lah dengan kita. And also because of their talent and their capabilities of singing live. Like, have you seen them singing live?
Yeah, it's insane.
I went to Dewa 19 concert in Malaysia and also Raisa's concert, and it was phenomenal.
Their vocals were crazy.
Yeah.
Huh.
I mean, Indonesians still feel that way too.
Yeah.
I mean, no matter how many times you see those acts. you're
No,
always
for
like,
sure.
amazed.
Especially with, like, you know, old comers coming back, and like TC DJ recently, they're making a big concert and comeback. Well, hopefully we'll have.
Tickets were sold out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I wonder, you know, we're talking earlier with Ralvi and I about concerts like Coldplay, where we had to go to other countries to visit. I was wondering, is it common for Malaysian people to come to Indonesia for an upcoming concert that an artist here is hosting?
Yeah. Many of Malaysians come to Jakarta for festivals, for music festivals. Because that's where we can watch all of the artists gathered in one concert.
Yeah.
Because usually when they come to Malaysia for solo concert,
It's a standalone.
yeah, it's a standalone, and also the price is quite high, you know.
Yeah.
So it's cheaper here,
All right. Oh, okay. I wasn't aware of that.
a lot cheaper.
Okay, makes sense. All right, so you mentioned earlier about collaborations. You yourself are a content creator. Your content evolves around pop culture, comedy. You know, when we talk about collaborations, it used to be, you know, very kind of like centered around music or maybe even films. How have you seen the evolution of our two countries cross-collaborating in recent years, especially with the rise of social media?
I think now it has become more frequent because we have social media. Previously, we had platforms like Anugerah Planet Music, where we can see artists, singers from Singapore, Malaysia, and Indonesia So that's where the opportunity for collaborations may be.
Okay.
But now,
everywhere.
because of this, social media, and even social media influencer now can collaborate for cross-cultural contents.
I have another one that I recently was invited to. I was a part of was a boxing collaboration. Beyond Combat, that's right. So this was
Really?
actually an idea from a Malaysian content creator, and he's a fan of one of the content creators here in Indonesia. He's like, why don't we just do a collaboration? So they had, there were some athletes, combat fighters. There were also some, social media personalities, and they got together and created this Indonesia versus Malaysia platform, and it had millions and millions of viewers from both countries, and it was, despite it being like a competitive format, it was actually just well received by both sides. Yeah, both sides were really happy with it, and I got to see like behind the scenes, even though in the ring they were fighting, but behind the scenes they were all like, wow, thank you so much for inviting us.
Really?
And I saw the camaraderie between the two countries, and I thought, wow, at a combat sport event, backstage, and that's how, it was amazing. It was a lot of fun. So again, it crosses over, and it just hit me now that sports as well in a different way.
Especially as you mentioned, it wasn't only, sportsmen that did it. It was also other influencers or people like, who don't really participate in that activity in their daily life, but also enjoy it.
By the way, the idea came from a Malaysian as well to do this event. Yeah.
Lovely. I'm excited to see what's going to happen for our next collaboration. Right. But, speaking of music again, this is a music genre that is known to be very Indonesian.
Okay.
It's called dangdut.
Oh, I knew you were going to go there.
Now, no, because this is very important, Paul. This is the music of our nation, And, with hip hop and rap, sure, those are great, but they're mostly influenced by the West, right? Yeah. Well, dangdut, does Malaysia also have a version of dangdut, or they like to listen to the Indo version?
I think both.
Really?
Yeah, I think both.
So there is a Malaysian version.
Yeah, Malaysian dangdut, but we kind of acknowledge as well that it is originated from Indonesia.
Okay.
So we like both versions. Depends on the taste of the audience.
What's the difference? Is it the tone, the beat?
I think Indonesian are more to dangdut koplo.
Yes, okay.
So we are more to dangdut pop and dangdut Malay.
So still
but you guys
pop,
have but you have so many like styles of dangdut, dangdut rock, Inul Daratista, dangdut, EDM, like K-pop.
That is true.
Yeah.
That is
true.
So
we have hip dut lately.
Oh my gosh.
Hip hop dangdut as well.
Yeah, hip hop dangdut. So we listen to both actually.
Oh, maybe it's my time now to listen into Malaysian dangdut.
And I'd like to also mention that many Indonesians also acknowledge that the origin of dangdut itself, I mean, you could say that it's somewhat related to Indian folk music or original authentic Indian music as well. So again, you get all of these cross cultures, not just in Southeast Asia, but across Southern Asia as well.
Of course. Yeah. Well, it seems like that wraps up most of our conversation.
We have more to talk about, I think.
Exactly. We do have more to talk about, but we're actually going for a quick break. So in the meantime, stay connected with us at C Today News on Instagram, X, as well as YouTube.